me for years, too. I
And I
butchered
still
your name.
can't pronounce my name.
It's what? It's not. I thought
Well, say it again. You say it first, and I'll correct
it's
you.
Mila. Oh, I said
Go ahead.
It's Kunis.
Well, that's not what you said originally.
That was close.
Right.
Let's check the tape. I think I said Kunis.
Yeah, that's
because you
what I
seem
said.
exotic to me, and I always forget where you're from, and you're like from like El Segundo or something.
Really? Russia.
Russia, right?
We're close
So
enough.
to me, it's like
I'll
they're
go to
similar.
Russia.
I think of, I just think of Kunis, like it should be, exotic, whatever. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having
What's
me.
new with you? Anything?
Well, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing. I'm just on vacation, chilling.
Nice. You were in Las Vegas. We're taking the show back to Las Vegas this year, our third year, and you were a guest last year.
I was, and I was miserable in Vegas.
Tell everybody why, because you weren't of
Because
age.
I was 19, I think, at the point, maybe 20.
Yeah.
So, listen to what happened. So they had like a table set up for like the other guests to play poker, like,
A real
let's have
table.
fun, a real table. I had to be behind the rope. I was a guest on the damn show, and I had to be
All of
behind
the
the
guests from who were there that day, we're doing a real sort of poker, and
rope. Here I am, like,
and you were
yay!
behind the rope.
Yeah.
Fake ID, you need
I
one.
have. Remember we had this conversation? I got in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get like Angelina Jolie's fake ID? That would work. For you.
Awesome. Okay.
I think that would work.
I'll do it.
What about that 70 show? You guys still on the air?
Yes. We're going into our 7th season.
Really, 7 seasons now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what the series, season finale, I should say, is this week?
Really?
Is that this week?
Yeah, read again.
I TiVo it. I forget when it's on.
The 150th episode.
Yeah. And is that exciting?
It is. It's actually very exciting.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's
I'm
supposed
just
to be
trained to say
exciting.
it's exciting.
Every
But is it
episode
really
is
so exciting?
You know what? It's exciting to just have a job, and whether it's 149th or 150th. But apparently 150th is a milestone of some sort, so I'll go with
I don't
it.
think anybody here would disagree that unemployment is, yes, good.
Yeah, well, I don't know why it's exciting. I guess they get to go just double syndication, and it's
Right.
exciting for the producers.
That's more money for you, I think, too.
Of course it is.
Did you already shoot? This whole season's already been shot, right?
Yeah.
So you're off now.
I've been off for a good month, yeah.
And what are you doing with your time?
I've been in New York for a little bit. I have a movie that's playing at the Tribeca Film Festival that premiered on Monday, so
Right.
I went there for that. And I guess just promoting 70s. And then I'm taking a little bit of time off before I do my next film.
You're not doing anything fun, not traveling, you're not just goofing off?
I am goofing off, minus the traveling. Well, this is traveling for me, you guys. I'm like,
That's you being a lunatic in your hotel room, like, to the radio.
Bouncing off the walls.
Yes,
Like,
I could imagine that.
oh, well, yeah.
What's the movie that you went to? Is that the...
Oh, Tony Tina's Wedding.
Right, now that was a play, right?
Yeah, it's the longest running off on Broadway comedy.
What does that mean, off on Broadway?
Off and on Broadway.
Off and on?
Literally on Broadway, off. That's
Okay,
all.
gotcha.
And it's really funny. It's an interactive play. And so the way the film was shot, because it was really a little bit of a difficulty.
Wait,
to
take people back. I went to one of these in California. It wasn't Tony and Tina's, but it's like you go to a real wedding. You buy a ticket to go. You don't know anybody there, but they
Exactly.
treat you like you're a guest
And
at the wedding.
like the audience is like the family members of the guests of the family that's getting married. So like the father, the bride walks around, it's like, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah, and you like talk to them, and then like after the wedding, you walk across the street, literally, to the reception,
Right.
and they feed you, and you like hang
It's
out.
like going to a wedding.
Yeah, and all this stuff happens around you. Like these families are fighting, the kids do crack, and like it's crazy.
It's like a mob family, too, right?
It's Italian. I mean,
Italian
not so
family.
much mob. The father owns a strip club, and the mom doesn't really do anything, but the
Well, there you go. That's,
the end.
The
But
Sopranos.
it was really funny. And it was shot like a play. Like we rehearsed for 2 weeks like a play, and then it was shot.
what does that mean for us? We don't know what that means. We can understand that movies might be shot maybe sort of out of sequence or on locations. What does this mean? You shot
You
the...
rehearse for 2 weeks. You literally rehearse. Like you normally don't rehearse for a film. Like you kind of do. You kind of like foo around, like run the lines. But this was like rehearsed for 2 weeks. Like you set it up as if you're doing a play.
Right.
And then you go in and shoot it. And I don't really understand why, but you do. And then the way they shot it was like a documentary.
Right.
So it was kind of like the wedding video.
But if you screw up, is there a second take?
Oh, yeah. That's the reason I don't understand why we rehearsed for 2 weeks. But for some reason,
I think
we
you're
did.
getting gypped. I don't know. Who are the producers on this film?
But we shot in 20 days, maybe 14 days.
And is that what is that, like record time?
That's abnormal. Like a film usually takes maybe a month if it's like an indie, and maybe like, it could take up to 6 months or something. So 14 days was quick, which is, I assume, why we rehearsed for 2 weeks.
And let me ask you this about Tony and Tina's wedding. When you were shooting the film version of it, were the people that came in attendance, did they think they were at a real wedding for that same
No. They were like, get me out of here.
Oh, they're like-
They were miserable. It was like in Jersey in the middle of summer, and they were all like, there's no air conditioning. You're in this dungeon.
But they're actors.
They're actors, but they're background actors, so unfortunately they don't get paid enough, and they're like sitting there like this. We had like no air conditioning because we were too poor to afford like air conditioning for this film, and it was funny. No, I don't think they were in the real wedding. Because we got breaks, like you have 5 minutes off.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in this film, I know.
No, please.
Okay.
Please.
In this film, one of my bridesmaids is pregnant, and we were shooting at a church. And she wasn't really pregnant. She was wearing like a fake false pregnancy suit.
Right.
And she goes outside and her breaks have a cigarette. So she's sitting on the sidewalk like this, and she's like,
The actor's having a cigarette.
The actor's having a cigarette. And this guy drives by, he's like, I can't believe you're killing your baby. And that's really fun. Gets out of the car and starts yelling at her. And she's like, and she just plays along. She's like, yeah, well, you don't care, whatever. And just totally plays along. And I'm sitting there laughing my ass off because people thought it was a real wedding.
Are you sure that wasn't Courtney Love? Just could have been out there.
Possible. I wasn't
Number
paying
2.
attention.
All right, well, fantastic. So the film, how do we see the film?
I don't know. If somebody buys it, you
Oh,
guys
so
will
it's one of
all
those?
see it.
There's tons of loaded people watching the show. Pick
Okay,
up
that's
Mila Kunis' new movie.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Good to have you here,
Thank you.
Mila. Check out that 70s show. The season finale is tomorrow night. We'll be right back with Jonathan Rice.